This video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Hi guys, I'm here with a video showing you how I made the wig, or at least sewed in the wefts, for my Bunny Gal Mint cosplay from Maple Story. To make this wig, I'm combining two wigs, a pink one and a blue one. I got these both off of eBay. They were like $10. They're really cheap wigs. I know that you can buy wefts online specifically for wigs, just individual wefts, and there's also like hair extension wefts out there, but I decided that this was the cheapest and better option because, I mean, it's an entire wig worth of wefts for $10. So if I ever need more pink wefts in the future, then I'm covered. These wefts are all stitched onto the wig cap, or the wig, like the net of the wig, so it was really easy to remove these. I just took a pair of scissors. I started out using the smallest craft scissors I had, and then that didn't really work. So instead I'm using these scissors that you often find in like the beauty section of stores. I think they're like for trimming eyebrow hairs or something. I don't actually know what they're for. I think they're also used for like male grooming, like facial hair and stuff, but I'm using it to cut wefts. You can also use a seam ripper. Anyways, once I removed a good amount of wefts, I moved on to attaching that all to the blue wig, which is the base wig and the wig that I'm working off of. So for Bunny Gal Mint specifically, she has a pink stripe on either side of her bangs and then either side of the underneath part of her hair, which you'll see later. I started off with the bangs. To attach this, I started off at the top of the head, sewed on small sections of pink wefts, removed any blue wefts that were where I was going to place a pink weft, or where a pink weft was needed to be placed, and then sewed a pink weft in that place. I also sewed on a couple extras just to add a little bit of thickness. I should note I didn't go all the way to the very, very top of her head with those pink wefts because that pink doesn't go all that way back, like it doesn't go that far back. I just stuck to the bang section. So I sewed to like one weft underneath the start of the bang section of the wig, and that's where I started sewing on the pink. And then I worked all the way down, and I did sew it to all the way to the bottom of the wig cap. I used a blanket stitch to sew the wefts into place. wings were done and the pink was sewn into place there, I moved on to sewing the wefts onto the bottom half of the wig. Again, I started at the top and then worked my way down. So again, not the very, very top because that's not where the pink starts on her, but just somewhere kind of up in like the middle section of the back of the head, and then worked my way down from there. If you don't want to sew the wefts into place, hot glue can work fine. I have used it many times to attach wefts to my cosplay and never really had a problem with that. Again, though, I haven't ever really been out in extreme heat with a wig that's been glued into place. That's the only concern I might have about that, but besides that, it's always worked out great. The only thing I recommend is adding a little bit of mesh fabric, preferably something skin toned or that matches the color of your wig so it doesn't look odd if it shows through at all, to the underneath, just so that there's something extra for the wefts and glue to grip onto. Another thing to note is that I do sew over the blue weft that I cut just a little bit to make sure that it stays secured in place, because since I did cut that thread, it did loosen up that weft a little bit and the risk coming unraveled. So just to make sure that stays secure and it doesn't get too much tension that does cause it to unravel and just like fall off of the wig eventually, I sewed that down into place just a tiny bit. And that's really it for this video. That's all I really had to do for this bunny gal mint wig. Besides sewing in the wefts, I just had to cut it, and I eventually have to curl it, which I didn't get to before I took photos of it, so whoops. But yeah, I think this is a really simple way to add wefts. Again, it can be even simpler and quicker if you just want to hot glue them in, although sewing them in does make it more secure. And it just kind of looks nicer. Again, I also recommend a blanket stitch, or at least that's what I used, just because I felt that's what made it most secure and worked best with the shape that we got going on along the top of the weft, because it's like an edge and it's flat. Edge, like a blanket. I hope that makes any sense. I don't know how to explain it. It's just what I felt worked best with the wefts. There might actually be a stitch specifically for sewing in wefts. I don't know if there is one though. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Thanks for watching, have a lovely day, and bye! Also, stick around if you want more tutorials and stuff.